Hey everyone, so yesterday I just went to the Austin IPMS show, and this video is just going to be wanting to show my entries, what I brought, and some kits I got, just showing future builds and all that. So one of my entries was this diorama. So this is the Tacom AMX-13 with the Chaffee turret, and this tank was used like in the Algerian War in the late 50s and early 60s. So for this diorama, what I did was just I put an Algerian scheme on the tank and then got some figures from Verlinden that I thought, represented that era, and made a diorama. So pretty much what I did was I used some bricks and just made them like brick by brick. I made a wall, then put a fence on it based on some reference pictures I saw. And I put these two figures, which were airbrushed with their base coat, and then I brush painted all the details on them and then dry brushed onto their clothes just to give more texture and all that. And the tank, all the stowage you see on the tank, all the stowage on the tank there was scratch made using something called Nita-Tite, which is the same stuff I used to make the blast bags on my cannons. So yeah, those were scratch made and painted and dry brushed and all that. The base is just a wooden base from Michael's, and the scenery was done using some sand I had with some grass and little rocks and stuff, with a base of the Vallejo scenery paste, and then I just airbrushed over some sections to help bring the colors together so there's just not such a stark contrast between all the colors. Then one last thing put on the diorama, which you can't really see from the other side, is this crumpled section of wall with the fences that fell off, and then a little, I don't know what you'd call that, like a wagon or a little chariot with the wheel broken off, which I got from my local hobby shop. So with that entry, I got a first place award in the junior category, which was pretty good, and there was quite a lot of participants there and other models, which there's usually not too much in the junior section. And then my next entry is an IL-2 Sturmovik. Yep, so it's this IL-2 Sturmovik, which I got at my local hobby shop, and it was made by Accurate Miniatures. It was actually a really good kit. The only problems I had with it was that the fuselage is made in like 4 parts. So there's quite a lot of seams to fill in and stuff. But it's a 3-tone camouflage that was on the IL-2s, so I used a dark green color, the Tamiya German gray, and then desert yellow. So I did this all freehand with the airbrush without masking. So there's a little bit of overspray. Not overspray, but dots on the sides, but it's hard to see unless you get really close up. And on the underside, I mounted it with rockets. Here, yep, mounted it with rockets and all that. So I put, the full set of armaments that this plane could carry. And the rigging there was done with stretched black sprue. And the last thing is the inside of the cockpit. I made scratch seat belts from some tin foil, and then some wiring on the interior of the cockpit, which I painted yellow and all that using just copper wire. And this was one of my best models so far, so I was lucky, and for the first time I won the Best Junior Award at the IPMS show. Not sure if you can see through the glass there, but... And I also brought the IL-2 to a show last month, like in September. It was an armor show, and I actually participated in an adult category for the show theme, which was tank busters. So any vehicle, air vehicles that would take down tanks, and I got second place for that, which was pretty hard because there was a lot of adults competing in that category. So 2 other things I brought to the show was this Fiesler Stork, which is Tamiya's 100th milestone kit for their 148th aircraft series. And this was just painted with a mix of desert yellow and Tamiya flat earth. And I'm not sure if you can see there, but the black lines on those panels were just done using some pre-shading. And I just put light mist coats to manage and get them to show through. And the cockpit was masked with the kit stuff, that the masking tape that was provided in the kit. And it turned out really well. I mean, the lines are really sharp and they follow the framing of the canopy. Okay, and the final thing I entered at the show was this little armored car. So it was this armored car, which is an SD KFZ 222, just something they used in North Africa during the Second World War. And all this stowage on the back, this stowage actually isn't scratch built. This came with the kit, but it was still pretty good, and with dry brushing and all that, you could give it some nice texture and more detailed look. So that's it for what I brought to the show. Okay. So at the show, I also bought some model kits. The first thing I purchased was a Wingnut Wing Kits, which is a company based in New Zealand that makes World War I aircraft. And apparently their kits are really good, so I thought I would try one out myself. And the one I bought, let me zoom out. So the Wingnut Wings kit I purchased was just the Sopwith Camel. And there's 6 schemes you can do with it. The one I'll probably do has some black and white stripes on the front, so that might be pretty hard. And I will use some easy line for all the rigging between the upper and lower wings. 2 other kits that I bought were two armor models, and these are some older kits, so they weren't very expensive, but they were all sealed and stuff. So I thought it would be good to practice. The first one is a Dragon Panther A, the later type, so this kit is from 2002. And I looked inside, it comes with the individual link tracks and all that, the typical stuff that Dragon provides. And it actually looks pretty good. I was surprised, this kit was priced so low. But I haven't built a Panther yet, so I thought that would be a good buy. And last thing I got was this Panzer II. So I've actually already built one of these, but the reason I got this kit was because it was only $5, so I couldn't really pass on it. It comes with 5 figures and all that, so I'll probably do a different scheme this time and do a German gray Panzer II rather than an Africa Corps one. And that's all for what I got at the show. Well, actually, here are some paints that I'll try out. These are True Color paints, which are based in Phoenix. It was part of the door prize raffles at the model show, and I got these. So most of these are US Air Force colors for F-35s and F-16s. So if I ever build one of those, I'll definitely use these colors. So the last thing I wanted to say was right now I'm working on a Bismarck kit, and I'm actually making a video for that. And at the moment today, I'm about 2/3 of the way done with editing the video for the building and painting portion of the Bismarck. So that should be out in the next couple of days for sure. And then after that, I'm gonna do the work on the weathering and post a video for the weathering. But once this whole Bismarck kit is finished, which is hopefully within the next week or so, I'll probably take a small break, then start working on models again. And what else? Next kit I'll do after the Bismarck is this Dornier 335. It's a Tamiya 1/48 scale airplane. This I didn't get at the show. I got this a while back, but I haven't built it. So I'll probably build this kit. It looks pretty good inside. It's a Tamiya kit, and yeah. So I'll definitely build this one before the Wingnut Wings kit, the World War I camel Sopwith Camel, just because I'd rather practice or improve my skills a little bit on a kit before I move to such a complex and something I'd like to make a nice piece of work out of. So I think it's better to do this one first than the other one. Okay, so last thing is I have this Mr. Surfacer 500, which I'll try out for filling seams on my next airplane model, just because the other stuff I use, the Vallejo acrylic putty, it's good, but it's a little bit thick, so when you want to get into very small seams without having to damage panel lines, it's a bit of a problem. So this is probably the consistency more like paint, or like unthinned paint, maybe a little bit thicker, so that might work a bit better and flow into the seams. Then I can wipe it away with lacquer thinner. So that concludes the video, and I'll have the Bismarck video posted shortly, and this was just kind of an update video of the show I went to and what I'll probably build in the future. So thanks for watching, and hope you watch the Bismarck build that'll, be released soon. I'll post that within this week. Thanks guys, bye.